And as always, one project leads to the other. And this construction here is a tc230 RGB sensor, just on the cardboard. And I got an RGB LED here, addressable one. A Mega, just because I didn't have any other board available the day I was making this. And what it does is just it samples a color by the press of a button and show it in the LED inside of here. I'm going to hook it up to power here and I'll show you how it works. Okay, it's power up, and now I'll press the button. Great. As you can see, it's blue. Let's try the red. Red. Well, I've got kind of a purple. It kind of depends how the light lands on it, and I think I'll need to add something that will hide the reflections from the LED, the light that goes this way from the sensor. So I'm going to make a dome when this is just sticking out and this is hidden. So what the sensor will get will be the light that is bounced back from the sensor itself. So as you can see, it's not that great, but once you get it, it's pretty good. The red is really easy. You get a really clear red. So I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to replace the Mega, just because I really need the Mega, with a attiny85. Let's go to work. Okay, I moved it all. I haven't tried it yet, so it's kind of like the moment of truth. Let's switch it on. Light fell off here, and let's give it a press. And we're not getting a proper color read. Sorry, I was out of the frame. See, it's not as good, actually. That's not that bad. Okay. Not that bad, half decent. Maybe I need to adjust it a little bit. It's going to be interesting. Well, back to the drawing board. So I didn't really go back to the drawing board, but I realized that there was way too much light around here. So, as I said before, the sensor, I need to hide the sensor from the light a little bit. So as you can see, it's pretty decent now. So I just need to solder it somehow, and it'll be a nice game. So this is the addressable that goes under the dome. I really like it, the way it breaks the light, diffuse the light. It's pretty brilliant. But it's bigger than this, and I'm gonna keep this for the first prototype with the attiny. So I'm gonna use this cardboard to make a place for it, and I'll see how it works. So I've created the first part. You can see it's almost flush here with the end of this. So what I'm gonna do is gonna cut a few more of those so I have thickness, and then create a cut out circle in them that will be able to go on top of this, allowing me to connect and disconnect. And then just got hot glue all of this here, and the LED is gonna sit in the middle. Well, let's see how it works. Found this, and it's almost a perfect match in. So just have to maybe add a screw here, or maybe add a little bit of hot glue around here to make this stick inside. Saved myself a lot of work. So I got a piece, and I'm gonna just hot glue it here. Maybe add some hot glue strips on it so it will be a better fit in. Let's go hot gluing. Done. Added the lines of hot glue here. Actually made it too snugly. I couldn't get it out almost. And see, it's pretty. And once I'll push it in all the way, it can probably stay there. So yeah, now I'm gonna mount this here, make a hole for the cable to go in, and we can move to the next thing. Actually, it worked pretty good. Now I just have to probably solder something for this mess. I'm gonna end it up with a USB cable, so you can just plug it to a battery like this one. But I really like it. I made it like look like a gun, so you actually can shoot and look at the same time, which you couldn't before because the button was on the top. So yeah, let's go do some soldering. After about an hour of soldering, I got this set up, and as you can see, kind of works okay. We're pretty good. Okay, so let's close it up. It took a little bit of time, but it's working. See, looks like a gun. Let's see if I can get a mix. Yep, got purple. Very cool. My son is going to be happy, for sure. This is the sensor that I'm using for this project. This is the pinout, and I'll go over it really quickly. S0 and S1 are the one that is controlling the scale of the sensor. I'm using 20%, and I'll show it to you in the code in a second. S2 and S3 are the one that are in charge to select which of the colors do you want to get the answer for. We got red, green, and blue, and clear as well. Again, I'll show you how you use it within the code. Number 6 is the out. This is where you get the pulse in response to what the sensor measured for that color. And of course, we got power, VDD, and ground. Now let's go over the code. The code is pretty straightforward. This section is to declare the LED, the addressable one. S0 and S1, since I was using a mega originally, were connected to pin 3 and 4. I've just connected them directly to the power, so pin S0 goes to the 5 volt and S1 goes to the ground. S2 and S3 are the ones that controls which color I'm looking at. This is the sensor out and the button pin. And I'm using a few variables so it'll be easier to calculate things. In the setup, I declare S2 and S3 is an output, of course. The sensor is an input, and we got a button as well, which is an input pull-up. Setting up the color, setting it to black, and showing it. Now let's go over the important part of the code, is where I'm reading the colors. So once I sense a button press, what I do is I set digital pin S, the ones that is S2 and S3 to a low. This will let the sensor know that I want the answer for the red color. I do a pulse in read on the sensor out pin, and that answer will be recalculated into a value between 0 and 255. When I've done original settings and testing, I found out that the color will be anywhere between 60 and 120 on the red. While 60 is a higher number, meaning 60 will be closer to 255 and 120 will be closer to 0. What I do is I constrain in case I get a really number that is below the 60 or above the 120, and then I'm mapping it in between 255 and 0, and therefore getting the red color. I delay for 100 milliseconds, and I do the same thing with the green. To get a green, I have to set S2 and S3 both to high. And the same thing goes for the blue when I have to set the S2 to low and the S3 to high. Once I get all the numbers, what I do is just set them in the LED and I do a fast light show. And that's all. I hope this will help you in your next project. If you haven't done it by now, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and see you next time.